Let me tell you something about grand gestures. They look great in rom-coms. Fireworks, violins, a guy down on one knee in some fairy light-covered rooftop garden. The girl gasps, hands flying to her mouth, tears in her eyes. She says yes. Everyone claps. And somewhere in the background, Ed Sheeran starts singing. That was the vibe I was going for, and I nailed it. Or so I thought. I'd spent weeks planning it. I'm talking military-grade coordination. I had the ring, a clean, simple emerald-cut diamond on a platinum band, understated like her. I had the restaurant reservation, that place downtown where they serve steak on a Himalayan salt block. And I even looped in a few close friends to record the big moment from a safe distance. The whole thing was supposed to go down like a sweet Netflix original. But what I got instead, that was more HBO limited series meets true crime podcast. Her name was Dolly, and no, not like Dolly Parton, more like Dolly short for Dolores, but she hated that. We met in college, in a freshman psych class. I thought she was out of my league, but I made her laugh during a lecture about Freud's weird obsession with mothers, and from there, we just clicked. We were friends for a long time before anything romantic happened. The kind of friendship that makes people ask, "So, are you two?" To which we'd always laugh and say no, until one night, we didn't. Fast forward 4 years, and I was sure she was the one. Not in the Instagram influencer kind of way, where you match outfits and write long captions about our journey. I mean the kind of woman you picture building a life with, school lunches, mortgage payments, shared Amazon accounts, the real stuff. So I picked a Sunday night, casual but intentional. I'd let myself into her apartment with the spare key she gave me months ago, which I now understand was more like a symbolic, we're serious thing than an actual, use this whenever pass. But hey, I was trying to make a memory. She was supposed to be out getting drinks with her cousin. I'd go in, light a couple candles, set up a small speaker to play our song. Don't judge him, it was Electric by Alina Baraz. We had a thing for moody R&B, and when she walked in, bam, proposal, tears, ring, forever. Except when I walked in, I wasn't alone. At first, I thought she'd just come home early. I heard her voice. But then, I heard his voice. Deep, smooth, confident. The kind of voice that sounded like it had expensive cologne and a 6-figure salary. I froze in the hallway. My hand tightened around the ring box in my pocket, and my brain screamed, "You should leave." But curiosity's a hell of a drug, and I stepped closer. And that's when I heard it. After this weekend, I'll find a way to end things with him. It's you I want. He's not the one. I didn't hear anything else after that. My ears were ringing. My heart wasn't broken. Not yet. It was more like someone had yanked the emergency brake on my reality. The image I had in my head, her crying happy tears while I kneeled with a ring, it shattered so hard I think I physically felt it. I didn't confront her. That's not my style. I turned around and walked out as quietly as I came in. Outside, my friends were waiting in the car with balloons and their phone cameras out. One of them had a Bluetooth speaker playing soft jazz. Another had just engaged sunglasses for us to pose with. I walked up and said, "Change of plans. I'm gonna head home. Don't ask." I think they thought I got cold feet. Nah, my feet were on fire, just not for the reason anyone imagined. Dolly ran out onto the porch maybe 30 seconds later. She saw me, saw the setup, the flowers, the faces. My friends stared at her like she was a surprise guest on a game show. She froze, and I'll never forget the look in her eyes. Not guilt, not even panic, just inconvenience. Like she was annoyed her two lives had just awkwardly bumped into each other in the hallway. I didn't say a word to her. I didn't need to. I just got in the car and drove. Later that night, she called. I let it ring twice before answering. "Hey," she said, acting like nothing happened. "You really were gonna propose? Wow, that's so sweet." I didn't respond. She kept going. "I mean, I had no idea you were even thinking about that. You're full of surprises. Still nothing from me." Finally, I said, "Yeah, it didn't exactly go according to plan." A pause. "Is something wrong?" she asked, and I swear I could hear the fake confusion in her voice. I let her squirm for a second, then delivered the line like it was my mic drop at the end of a roast battle. I'm done, Dolly. Completely. Then I hung up. The next few days? Weird. It wasn't heartbreak. It was more like waking up from a dream where you thought you were flying, but realized you were just face-planting into a wall with enthusiasm. I tossed the ring into my sock drawer and slammed it shut, deleted every photo of us from my phone, removed her from social media like she was malware. At one point, I sat on my couch with a half-eaten box of leftover Chinese and scrolled through old messages, reading her I love you texts and thinking, was any of this real? Or was I just the safe option until someone shinier came along? Spoiler, I was the safe option. Then came the kicker. 2 days later, I got a call from her parents. Sweet people. Old school. Her dad always wore polos tucked into jeans and said stuff like, "Attaboy." Her mom used to bake us cookies on Sundays. "Phil," her mom started, "we're confused. Dolly said you just vanished. We don't understand." The classic make him look like the villain move. I took a deep breath. "Did she tell you why I vanished?" "No." I laid it out. All of it. The apartment, the voice, the words. Her plan to dump me after the weekend. Silence. Then I said, "She played a role in front of you just like she did in front of me. I'm sorry you didn't see it sooner." I don't know what hurt them more, the truth or the fact that I told it so calmly, but I wasn't interested in making a scene. I wasn't going to cry or scream or burn her clothes on the lawn. I'd been sucker punched by the truth, and the only thing left to do was walk it off. About a week after I shut the whole thing down, I got a call from someone I didn't expect. Maya. If you've ever watched a soap opera, you know there's always that one friend who knows way too much, keeps quiet for way too long, and then suddenly drops a truth bomb like they're auditioning for reality TV. That was Maya. She and Dolly had been best friends since middle school. Like matching bracelets and cringe yearbook notes level besties. I'd always liked Maya. She had a sharp sense of humor and a face that looked like it was permanently judging people, but in a good way. She once told me my haircut made me look like a divorced magician. I respected that. Anyway, she called, out of the blue, and the moment I answered, I could hear the tension in her voice. "Phil," she said, "we need to talk. I should have done this sooner. Never a good opener." "What's up?" I asked, already bracing for something wild. "You should know," she said. "What happened with Dolly? It wasn't a one-time thing. It wasn't just bad timing or her being confused. She's been playing this game for a long time." "Game," Maya went on. Apparently, Dolly had a long-standing tradition of keeping what she called alternatives. I thought she was referring to types of milk or something, but nope, she meant guys. "She's always kept a backup," Maya said flatly. "She dates someone safe, but flirts with someone fun. And when she gets bored of one, she tries to switch without making a mess. Except this time, she screwed it up." I didn't say much, just listened, letting it all settle like dust in my chest. "Phil, I think you were the backup," she added quietly. "That hit different. You ever walk into a room thinking you're the main event, only to find out you were just the intermission?" "That's what it felt like," she told me, Maya continued, "that she was waiting for you to propose before she made her decision. She wanted to see the ring before choosing, like you were a contestant on The Bachelor or something. Jesus. It was like someone had turned my real life into a YouTube reaction video titled, 'He Thought She Loved Him.' Then this happened. I thanked Maya for being honest, even if it came a little late. And to her credit, she sounded genuinely sorry. Not just for me, but for being friends with someone she clearly didn't recognize anymore. That conversation changed something in me. It wasn't heartbreak. That had come and gone. It was something sharper, colder, and weirder. Clarity. I realized I'd spent years building a future with someone who treated me like an investment, something to cash out if it didn't pay off. I wasn't her choice. I was her plan B, the safety net, the good guy she could fall back on when the excitement wore off. I looked in the mirror that night and said, out loud like a guy in a bad rom-com, Yeah, not anymore. I made a choice that night. I wasn't going to be the guy who lets a broken proposal break him. I started reclaiming my life, one day at a time. I got back to the gym, not for revenge, not for a glow-up post, just to move the frustration out of my body. I texted old friends I hadn't seen in months, took a trip to the lake house with my cousin, bought a ridiculous pair of sneakers I didn't need, limited edition Air Jordans, totally impractical. Totally worth it. I even picked up woodworking again, built a coffee table with my own hands. There's something therapeutic about sanding down rough edges, kind of like what I was doing to my life. And best of all, I stopped checking my phone. Every 5 seconds waiting for closure. I didn't need closure. I had common sense. Of course it wasn't over. A few weeks later, Dolly tried one last move. She texted me, "Can we talk?" No explanation, no apology. Just that. I stared at the message for about half a second before I started laughing. It was such a predictable move. It could have been part of a bingo card titled Toxic X Behaviors. I didn't respond, didn't even open it. You know when a magician messes up a trick and tries to play it off like it was the trick? That's what this felt like. She messed up. And now, with her exciting new option, probably ghosting her or realizing she wasn't wife material, she wanted to circle back. Like I was a Costco sample, she wanted to try again. Nah, I blocked her number, deleted the message, and went back to watching reruns of Brooklyn Nine-Nine with a burrito in hand. Not because I was bitter, but because I was done. I didn't need answers. I didn't need revenge. I needed peace. And peace looks a lot like ignoring your ex while eating guac in your sweatpants. And here's the part I want to say to anyone reading this, or listening. If this ever ends up as one of those TikToks with dramatic music and subtitles, you are not someone's backup plan. You're not the runner-up in a game show. You're the damn prize. If someone has to decide between you and someone else, let them go. Because the right person, they don't hesitate. They don't weigh your worth against someone else's wallet or voice or jawline. They just know. And trust me, the moment you realize you deserve more is the moment things start getting better. Not easier, but better. So I thought that was it. Ring in a drawer. Number blocked. Life back on track. But life, in all its charming unpredictability, had one last curveball for me, and it came wrapped in an unexpected voice message from Maya. Yeah, again. Her timing's weird, but her delivery, always impeccable. Hey, Phil, sorry to drop this on you, but you should know something. It's not just that Dolly was playing games. The guy she was with, the one you overheard, she paused. That was her boss. Oh, of course it was. Corporate cliché unlocked. The classic sleeping with the charming, married VP of finance who wears loafers with no socks play. I should have guessed. But it gets better. He's married with 2 kids, Maya said. And now, his wife found out. Full explosion. HR got involved. He's on leave. Dolly's pretending she was being manipulated. It's a whole circus. I had to sit down for that one. Not because I cared, not even close, but because it was the kind of absurdity you almost admire from a distance, like watching a raccoon steal pizza in the middle of a traffic jam. She's telling people you were too intense, Maya added, and I almost dropped my phone laughing. I mean, sure, I did plan a proposal, with balloons and string lights and a playlist, but that's intense in a Hallmark movie way, not a restraining order way. Apparently, Dolly had tried to spin the whole thing into some martyr narrative. Poor her, caught between 2 men, trying to protect everyone's feelings while dealing with pressure. Pressure? Girl, the only pressure in that situation was me not losing it when I heard her whispering sweet nothings to Loafer Larry. I texted Maya back. Appreciate the intel. Tell her I'm doing great. Tell her I've started dating again. Tell her I got the ring resized for someone with taste. Okay. I didn't actually send that last part, but I thought about it, and that's enough. Now here's the twist I didn't see coming. After everything, I ended up meeting someone. No, not like right after. This wasn't some rebound scenario where I jumped from heartbreak to hot yoga dates. It happened months later, at the most random place imaginable. A dog park. Yeah. I don't even own a dog. I was there with my buddy's golden retriever, who I was watching for the weekend. I had just thrown a tennis ball when someone behind me said, He's got a better arm than my ex. I turned around and there she was, smiling, holding a coffee cup that said world's okayest person. She had on mismatched socks and looked like she could beat me in trivia and then help me fix my credit score. Her name was Riley. We started talking and, well, we're still talking. No grand gestures, no emotional gymnastics. Just two people who laugh a lot and make each other coffee. She knows about Dolly. I told her the story. Every messy, bizarre, what-the-hell detail. Her response? Damn. That girl had more red flags than a used car dealership. I think I fell in love right then and there. So here's my final thought. Especially if you've ever found yourself in a situation like mine, thinking, was I not enough? You were. You are. Sometimes people don't cheat or leave or lie because you weren't good enough. They do it because they were never built for real commitment in the first place. They're trying to fill something in themselves that has nothing to do with you, and you were just the nearest distraction. Being the good guy doesn't mean being boring or safe. It means being stable, consistent, and real. And that's rare. Dolly wasn't ready for that. A lot of people aren't, and that's okay, because eventually you'll find someone who is. And to you, reading or watching this, let me ask you something. Have you ever been someone's backup option, the safe bet, while they chased someone flashier? Drop your story in the comments. You'd be surprised how many people have been there. And if you haven't yet, consider this your friendly reminder. If they hesitate to choose you, let them go. Because you're not a plan B. You're the damn plan.